Hello, hello, hello. Hi, guys. I wanted to stop in and have a conversation with you really quickly. I just had a conversation with one of my good girlfriends. Of course, most know by now that I am on the dating scene yet again. And everyone is very supportive and really concerned and asking how my journey is going. I just had a conversation with one of my great friends who just had a simple question. And her question was, Renee, I noticed you say in your comments quite often that you have quite a few gentlemen that are basically inboxing you. Are you responding to all of them? My answer to her question is no. And the reason being is because when you're dating, it's not like how it was when I grew up. When someone said hello, my father instilled in us the fact that he wanted us to speak. Whether it was a stranger or not, the polite, kind thing was to speak. But that's not the case in dating. When you're dating, you have to be very cautious that your words and your intentions or your actions all line up. Because when you're dating and a gentleman inboxes you and you speak or you say hello or thank you so very much for, the compliment, in their mind, they perceive the fact that you're about to start having a conversation and you're conversing and the interest is mutual. So my tip is review their profile. If it's any information they've provided to you that you like, or their pictures or something that you said, okay, this is someone I may want to get to know more about, then respond. Otherwise, just keep on moving. Yes, they can see that there is a double check mark in the messaging center that lets them know that you've read it. Don't be concerned about that, because in this part of intentional dating, you have to be very selective. And again, your words and your actions have to line up. You have to know, first of all, what stage in life you're in. If you're in the discovery phase, then yeah, you may speak to most of the gentlemen because in discovery phase, you're trying to figure out what you like. But in the intentional dating stage or discriminatory phase like I'm in, I'm being extremely intentional about who I speak to and selective about who I interact with. Because in this phase of my life, I really do want to find love. And for me, intentional dating is a lot different from the first go round where I was just trying to figure it out and trying to see what I liked and that kind of thing. This go round, I am looking for something very special. I am tired of mundane, typical. I give a little, you give a lot in relationships. That's not what I'm looking for. In this part of my life, I am looking for something special and unique. I am looking for someone that most would see, as I do, as something that only God could have presented to me. In this phase of my life, I am through dealing with men like Chris. I know, I'm back at Chris. Y'all forgive me. I did pray about it. God is still working on me. I'm not looking for guys like Chris who have the assumption that because there are a few men out here, you have to accept what I'm offering. That's not the case. People like Chris are those men who are the big fish in the little ponds. You know, the type that most of us women have been competing for. And they feel like, okay, yeah, they're beating on their chest like they're King Kong saying, yeah, I'm a hot commodity and you better be happy that I'm taking time out with you. And you better bring your A game because there's 10 more of you behind me, right? Well, those days are over because now we have the opportunity to fish into several ponds. We're no longer all competing for this one small pond. There are several ponds that we can look for. Now, let me say this to you. In ponds, most often, you find little fish, right? That in their world, they're huge, right? Well, I'm not messing with the guppies. I'm not messing with the goldfish. I'm not fooling around in the creeks anymore. I don't want a tadpole. In this phase in my life, I am after the big fish. Now, let me say this. When I say big fish, let me clarify something. Your girl's not a gold digger. I'm not talking about monetary wise. I'm talking about I am looking for a man. I am praying that God sends me a man with a big purpose and a big heart and also big dreams. that he is divinely connected to the Holy One, who he hears from very clearly, that he's operating in his purpose, and he is whole. Now, that cuts my list way down at that point, right? That's okay, because I'm no longer in the ponds and the creeks. The tadpoles can't hold the capacity of a woman that I am, and that you are. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going deep sea fishing, baby. Yep, that's right. I'm going to have to leave Dallas, Texas, or you're going to have to leave Atlanta, Georgia, or Savannah, or New York City, wherever your area is. You're going to have to get out of those small ponds and broaden your net. So when I go deep sea fishing, I've already made preparations. I did that before I started dating. I've already bought a new reel, a new rod. I'm on the big boats, the sea boat. I'm no longer in the little bitty fishing boats anymore. I'm looking for something very special and unique, and only God can provide that for me. And that thing that I'm looking for, I'm okay with taking Dramamine. I'll take a whole lot of Dramamine, because I understand that when you go deep sea fishing, the waves are different. They're a lot more fierce. They're a lot more vicious than the little glimpses of wind that you'll catch on your lakes and ponds. So I'm okay with that. I have the capacity to stomach the waves that I have to endure in order to catch that fish. Now, let's talk about this with dating. So we've been talking about Ruth, right? And we've been talking about Ruth, how she met Boaz. But one of the things with Ruth is Ruth had to leave her environment. She had to leave that small pond where there was a famine in the land and where her husband was killed. Not only was her husband killed, her brother-in-law were killed and her father-in-law were killed. And there's a famine in the land. Ruth got up. She moved with Naomi. That means she had a passport, because she wasn't from Bethlehem. She left Moab, which was her little pond. She left in order to go find her purpose. So, ladies, it's time for you to activate your passports. That's right. It's time for you to change your location, change your mindset, change the way that you think and how you've been dating in the past. It's time for us to leave from Moab and make our way to Bethlehem, because in Bethlehem, your blessing awaits. With Ruth, she's like me. She's saying, okay, God, I'm willing to be obedient. Yes, I'm willing to risk it all. Yes, I'm willing to put myself out here. I'm going to go to a strange town. I'm going to go to an unfamiliar territory, because I understand that there's nothing else in the area in which I have been operating. So, Ruth, she made herself available, and while she was there, she was gleaning in the fields. Boaz found her, and he said to his men, hey, you see that one right there? Leave her be. Let her glean as much as she likes to. As a matter of fact, leave her some scraps. Now, if you ever want to know if you're dealing with a Boaz or another, I don't curse, so you're going to have to help me out. Take the bow off. Help the sister out. If you want to know if you're dealing with a Boaz or the other, then listen to this. Now, like Chris wanted me to compromise my queenship, my integrity, and my character to hang out with him, right? Or to be with him. Boaz didn't do that. He protected her. There's a difference. When real men find you, they see your queenship. They respect it, they understand it, and they want to protect it, because they recognize queens don't come around very often. Unlike little boys want to play. Men and kings want to protect and respect. So, if you're dealing with someone, or if you're in a situationship, what I mean by that is you're dealing with someone and they have not given you a title. They have not taken you off a market, but yet you're giving wifely benefits to this situationship. It's time for you to leave Moab, girl. Get your stuff. Get your grip. Move to Bethlehem. That's a dead thing. Let it go. If you are in a relationship, he's given you a title, but he has not put a ring on it, girls. Again, that's Moab. Leave him. I hear him. He's saying to you, yeah, everything is good between us. I don't understand why you keep pressing the issue. You know I love you, girl, but I've been hurt before. And I just got a little trust issues. And I'm kind of afraid of marriage. I don't understand why we got to have a title of marriage when you my only one. Girl, that's Moab. Leave his behind in Moab. Get over to Bethlehem. Now, what does that mean for you? That means, yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. Yes, you're going to be in a foreign place, but it is worth it. It is more than worth it. Understand your queenship. Understand that you are a queen that God has created you to be. And what does that look like? You're more than your hips, lips, and fingertips, girls. A man can find a pretty face and a small waist every day. There are a ton of them on Instagram. It's a ton of models out there that's willing to show it all, right? But a true queen who's after a king, a godly man, understands that her presence and her aura and the essence of her comes into the room well before she even opens her mouth. If that is not you right now, take the time to work on you. When you walk into a room and no one notices anything different about you, not because of your outfit, not because of your hair, not because of your makeup, but you as an individual, take the time to practice self-love and work on you. Don't worry about a man. It's a ton of them out here. Let's dispel the myth that there are few good men out here. Well, I don't know. No, just joking. There are a few men out here. There are billions of people in the world, and you think that God has only given this one person that you have your eye on as your promise? No. There are billions of people in this world. If that means you have to move, then move. I don't necessarily mean physically move, but I mean change your routine and your way of thinking. Then do that. Go to Bethlehem. I promise you, your blessing awaits for you. Change your scenery, ladies. Stop playing in the sandbox. Stop playing with these little boys, because little boys playing in the sandbox are going to do nothing but leave dirt in your eyes. You're worth more than that. Rise up and accept the blessing that God has in store for you in Bethlehem. Be blessed. Please like, comment, and share this post. I want to hear from you. Follow, like, and subscribe to Uncovering Eve on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.